Hello students, today we are going to continue with the topic types of cells. So in this we have already discussed about the prokaryotic cells. So on the basis of the origin, cells are categorized into two. One is prokaryotic cell and the other is eukaryotic cell. Pro word means primitive, that means ancient. Karyo word is derived from karyon, which means nucleus. That means cells called as prokaryotic, they contain primitive nucleus, or we say that the nucleus is not well defined. In the diagram you can see that the nucleus is circular. If I show you see the diagram over here, in this nucleus there is no nuclear membrane. So this is said to be as the nucleoid. Okay, when nuclear membrane is absent, then that structure is called as nucleoid. That means the genetic material, nucleic content without nuclear membrane is called as nucleoid, and the DNA which is present in the nucleoid is a circular DNA. In other animals' bodies, DNA is not circular, DNA is linear. And here the cell has the outermost covering called as the capsule, then comes the cell wall, then comes the plasma membrane, and the genetic material is found spread in the cell cytoplasm, which is called as the nucleoid. Then ribosomes are found in the cells. So this is the structure of prokaryotic cells. Now we have discussed about the different cell organelles. So in this prokaryotic cells, well-defined cell organelles are also absent. Now look at the content over here. Prokaryotic cell, the nucleus of some cell is not well defined. That means the nucleus is not well defined and is not surrounded by the membrane, and the name of the membrane is nuclear membrane. So such cells are called as prokaryotic cell. As I told you, pro means primitive or ancient, and karyo word is obtained from the Latin term karyon, which means nucleus. So prokaryotic cells have ancient nucleus. So prokaryotic cells have single chromosome. Okay, so prokaryotic cells, they have single chromosomes, whereas in other organisms chromosome is variously numbered. So that means many number of chromosomes are found lying naked in the cytoplasm. Naked here means that nuclear membrane is absent. Organisms like bacteria and blue-green algae, they have prokaryotic cells and they are called as prokaryotes. So bacteria and blue-green algae, their cell is prokaryotic cell. That means in their body, nuclear membrane is absent. Now we go for the next, that is eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells. Okay, in this you can see that the cell is well organized. Cell wall is present, then ribosomes are there. Inside the cell wall there comes the cell membrane, then nucleus is there which contains the nuclear membrane. Then mitochondria is present, endoplasmic reticulum is present, Golgi bodies are present. This is Golgi body. Golgi body is present, ribosomes are present. All the different cell organelles which are present in a particular cell, all are present in eukaryotic cells. Okay, so we say that prokaryotic cells lack main cell organelles, whereas eukaryotic cells have well-defined nucleus and double membrane cell organelles. We don't call these structures of the cell as organs because these are the part of a cell, and organs are made up of different cells. So we won't call These structures present in the cell as organs, we will call them as organelles. Now look over here in the eukaryotic cell. U here means advanced. EU. This U means advanced and karyo means nucleus. That means eukaryotic cells contain advanced nucleus, and this advancement of the nucleus is just because of the presence of nuclear membrane. So now here you can see that some cells have well-defined nucleus. Nucleus is well-defined with nuclear membrane. So this eukaryotic cells, they have well-defined nucleus with nuclear membrane, and they have double membrane cell organelles. So such cells are called as eukaryotic cells. All organisms other than bacteria and cyanobacteria. Cyanobacteria word is used for blue-green algae. It is a blue-green algae is the common name and the scientific name is cyanobacteria. So for blue-green algae we will call as cyanobacteria, which have eukaryotic cells are eukaryotes. That means all the organisms, they have eukaryotic cell except bacteria and cyanobacteria. Bacteria and cyanobacteria are prokaryotic cells. Now here look at the differences between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Simply just now we have discussed that nucleus is not well defined in prokaryote because nuclear membrane is absent. When we talk about eukaryote, cell nucleus is well defined because nuclear membrane is present. Then the second point in prokaryote is membrane bound organelles like mitochondria, ribosomes, etc. These are absent in prokaryotic cell. Whereas these membrane bound cell organelles are present in eukaryotes. Then prokaryotes undergo quick cell division. That means when prokaryote divide, they undergo reproduction. The number of the cell increases about in 20 minutes. That means the cell division occurs after 20 minutes. Whereas when we talk about eukaryotic cell, the cell division is slow and it may take hours. Not only 1 hour but more than 1 hour. So we say that the cell division in prokaryotic cell is 20 minutes. After 20 minutes the cell divides, whereas in eukaryote it takes hours to divide the cell. So cell division in eukaryote is complex than the prokaryotes. Now next we come to the topic cell division. What is cell division? Usually when the size of the cell increases to a particular size, then or the growth of the cell occurs to a particular size, then the cell divides. This is called as the cell division. So just have a look over here. What are cell divisions? Growth of body is determined by the multiplication of cells. A process is known as cell division. That means if we talk about the living organism or if we talk about the baby, okay, newborn baby is very small in size. But when afterwards, after the birth, that the size of the baby starts increasing year after year, and after 20 years, after 30 years, the size is full. So this attainment of size is just, or increase in the size is just because of the division of the cells. Because we are multicellular organisms and all the cells divide to increase our height and to increase the growth of the body. So the number of the cells is increased by division of the cell. So after the cell mature, it stops increasing in size and divides to form two new cells called as the daughter cells. Means when the cell becomes mature, it stops increasing its size, then it divides into two. And these two cells which are formed from the parent cell are called as the daughter cells. Sometime what will happen if we get injury During that time, the cells are damaged. And after some time, we find that that wound is healed up. This healing of wound is done by repairing, and this repairing is done by cell division. That means the cell divide and heal up the wound. That means if new cells are formed to cover the uh, wounded area. Okay, so the process of repair and healing of wound occurs mainly due to the replacement of the old cells by the new cells. That means old cells which are dead, they are replaced by the new cells, and new cells are formed by cell division. Now, cell division starts with the division of the nuclear material. That means when we talk about the cell division, first of all, we know that cell contain nucleus. So, when the cell divides, before that, the first step in cell division is the division of nucleus. First of all, in a cell, nucleus divides into two daughter nuclei. Then the cytoplasm, or we say then the cell divides into two daughter cells. So now just have a look over here. Cell division starts with the division of nuclear material. Once the nucleus divides, cell membrane also divides, forming two daughter cells. That means first the nucleus divides, then the cell cytoplasm divides, and then it becomes the two daughter cells. The process of cell division is controlled and well organized. That means it is all done in a very controlled and systematic manner so that the complete division occurs properly and there is no such anything left behind, or we say any disorder occurs in the next daughter cell. So when the multiplication of the cells becomes uncontrolled, it can lead to tumor or cancer. That means when the number of the cell is increased without any control manner, there is no, if the control manner is not performed, then results in formation of tumor, or we call it as the cancer. That means the cells repeatedly divide in an uncontrolled manner to increase its number with no use, and it forms a mass of cells which we call as the tumor. Now here look at the definition of cell division. The process by which new cells are formed is known as cell division. Now here you can see the diagram also. See here, this is the parent cell. Here inside is the nucleus. So first of all, nucleus will become elongated. That means it is stretched, it becomes long, and then it divides, it gets stretched. Okay, it is stretching over here, then afterwards it divides, and then the cell contains two nuclei. Cell contains two nuclei, and then the cytoplasm divides and results in formation of two daughter cells. Okay, so this is the process of cell division. Now we look over here at the in-text questions. Match the statements in column 1 with column 2. Column 1, suicidal bags. Suicidal bags are called as the lysosomes. Lysosome word is used or commonly called as suicidal bags. Then when we talk about the protein factory, we say protein factory is ribosomes. Then transport system is endoplasmic reticulum. Storage sacs are the vacuoles. And for cell division, the major role is played by centrosomes. Now next is, where do you find nucleolus? Nucleolus is what? It is the dense structure containing the DNA with proteins found in the nucleus. So what will be the answer of this? Where do you find nucleolus? The answer is nucleus. Which substance is called as the living substance of the cell? So the living substance of the cell is protoplasm. And protoplasm is what? Protoplasm constitute the nucleus with the cytoplasm containing all the cell organelles. Now, what do you understand by the term cell division? Here we just now studied the process by which new cells are formed is called as cell division. So here we have completed with the chapter. So just go through the chapter properly and learn the content of the chapter.